Good afternoon, or should I say good evening and good day. So wherever you're watching us from, my name is Rebecca Daniel and I'm here for, oh my goodness, an absolutely phenomenal live showcase. Now, it's been a while since we've done these showcases and we do them every so often to give you an idea of who is in Vision Collective. And for those who don't have a clue who I am and are coming across me for the first time, my name is Rebecca Daniel. I am one half of the Coaching Catalysts Collective, the Coaching Catalyst with my business partner, Sarah Bremmel, and friend. Now, we run a phenomenal service, which is called the Coaching Catalyst Supervision Collective, a bit of a tongue twister, but we get there in the end. And what we do in the collective is that we support professional coaches with their learning and development, their well-being as coaches, their ethical practice, their skills, their knowledge, their development, and create a really thriving and nurturing coaching community. And we're incredibly proud of that work that we do, but we're also incredibly proud of the supervisees who have chosen to invest not only their time and their energy, but also their commitment to supporting others as well within the community, as well as advancing in their own coaching practice. So this is coming at a perfect time because we're celebrating International Coaching Week. And we started today, day one, with our first workshop. And if you haven't signed up for International Coaching Week, it's not too late to do so. You can do so by going to bit.ly/supervision workshops. It's from the 12th to the 16th of May, 3 workshops, 1 masterclass, 1 full hour of networking and connection. But I'm going to bring on my first showcase of the day, and I'm really excited to do this with Brianne, because Brianne, we met actually, I'll bring Brianne on in a second, but we met at one of our events. So Brianne came to our coaches meetup when she was in London, and I'll tell you a bit more about why that's really significant. And we met online, and Brianne has a similar background in education, and so it's really, really cool to showcase Brianne today, because not only does she work in education, but she supports young writers to unlock their potential and find their unique voice. And she does a lot more than that. So I'm going to bring Brianne onto the stage. Welcome, Brianne.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And I always ruin stories, so I'm going to allow you to firstly introduce yourself and how you kind of stumbled into our world.
Yeah, so my name is Brianne. I am the founder of Creative Genesis. So I'm a mentorship and coaching space, and I work predominantly with homeschooling kids from all over the world. But at the moment, a lot of the kids are coming from America. And I work with lots of writers and in particular readers and we kind of, the whole idea is like using play-based creativity and personalized guidance. There's a lot of like an education background, as you've already mentioned, comes in, and confidence building in that area. So my focus has always been in helping kids and their parents develop like confidence in writing and joy in reading and self-expression. Like that's always been my thing back when I was a teacher as well. But then I've kind of moved into the coaching space as well, which has added something incredible into like what I offer. And for that coaching part, I joined up with TCA, so the Coaching Academy, to try and like, I didn't realize at the time I was coaching, and then I joined an actual coaching group and was like, oh my goodness, I'm a coach. So yes, I started with the Coaching Academy, and then I actually came across you and Sarah at the Coaching Academy. And we talk about this a lot at the Coaching Catalyst of like anyone who came from that TCA era, like area kind of thing, we used to look up to you two and be like, oh my gosh, like they're the coaching like dream team. That's who we want to be. And then it was kind of, I think I found you on Facebook and realized, wait, you're also off the Coaching Academy. Like we can contact you outside of this. Wow. So yeah, that's how I met you there. And then I kind of found the event in London and then got to meet you personally, and yeah, have have continued on ever since.
Yeah, and that's really cool, right? We train so many coaches, and we always are like loving seeing where people end up in their journey and connecting with you kind of post training sessions. That's really important to us. And something that you also said resonated with me about like coaching before you even knew that you were coaching, because I think naturally as educators we do so, but there's a difference, isn't there? There's a difference between coaching and not knowing you're coaching, and then coaching knowing that you are coaching because you've enhanced that skill set, isn't it?
Definitely. Yeah.
So where are you at now in your coaching journey? Like, where are you at now?
So I graduated, so I'm a qualified coach now, and I'm finishing it. Yeah, very exciting. So I've had my business for a while, so I'm not really at the point of like setting up the business type thing. I've been working at Creative Genesis for like 3 years. It's been like ongoing. So since graduating, I've actually been adding in the coaching, like more one-to-one, and like figuring out how I see coaching fitting in. Predominantly, I was doing mentoring. Like I come to realize the differences, and because I do work with a lot of kids, I also recognize that like the type of coaching that we do, you kind of have to develop your own style, and it is a little bit more on that mentoring side, especially when you're working with younger kids. But at the moment, it's getting ready for the fall term because I do work predominantly in that academic kind of year. So summer's coming, so I'm looking forward to a nice little break over summer. And then we start all over again in fall with like a new coaching, mentoring, and workshops all around reading and writing. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. It's just planning with all this knowledge that I've got from the Coaching Catalyst and TCA all comes in now. So very exciting.
Yeah, and it doesn't stop. We're lifelong learners, aren't we? So it's not an ongoing process. And I think that leads into how supervision has now become part of your practice. So you said that you work with young people and you've got a real extensive experience in education. So we were talking about this the other day, weren't we, about safeguarding and the importance of knowledge around how to safeguard ourselves and our clients. And that is part of supervision, isn't it? We talk about like how we can ensure that we're ethical in our practice. But how does supervision fit in for you? How did that come about?
Yeah, it's really interesting. So I don't also work in the education, like I definitely work in education. As I mentioned, I've got homeschooling, unschooling, and world schoolers. So I work with people that are not necessarily within the traditional education system. And within the traditional education system, like you mentioned, there's safeguarding. And I very much grew up understanding, like developing as a like career and in teaching, understanding like the basics of safeguarding and how important that is. But the last 3 years, I've actually been working in edutech, which is like education through like the development of technology. And I love this space because I think that the future of education is moving away from the traditional education, and I'm very excited and I'm here for that. And again, moving more into coaching, I think that we will find teachers are being less teachery, especially middle school and high school, and kind of moving into this role of coach or mentor. I genuinely see that as the future of education. But within this space that's like really dynamic and emerging, there is also, it's really, really fast paced. And with edutech as well, you're working with people who are not necessarily also grown up with that understanding of safeguarding and that career development. And I just began to really notice like a heaviness on me, probably last year, like halfway through the year. I was like, I'm holding so much. It's through like professional knowledge, having to deal with people in all these different areas, and navigating ethical things. Like I work with a lot of AI building as well because it's edutech, it's technology based. So there was like all these questions coming up and just a heaviness on my shoulders. And I actually found one-on-one supervision before Coaching Catalyst, and I started doing that. And instantly, like this that heaviness starts to go. It's like you could breathe. I could talk about things that I couldn't talk about with the edutech companies because of just, you know, they're trying to push forward things and build products and things like that. And I also couldn't talk about it with like my coaches that were helping me through like the diploma at the time. I just didn't have anywhere to talk about it. And I couldn't talk about it like certain things with family or friends, not because they couldn't understand, but because there was just so much there. So I remember my first couple of supervision sessions, I word vomited so much. It was just like all coming out. And I realized pretty quickly that while the one-on-one supervision was amazing to get things off my chest, I also needed more. I actually needed more than just that monthly checkup. So I was already looking for like ways to kind of have more supervision. And that's when I found the coaching catalyst and the fact that you do like group supervision, and was like really intrigued by that as like an addition to the one-on-one supervision I was getting. And I've loved it. Love group supervision. So different.
I'm laughing because Sarah and I are the same. Like we'll go to our supervisor and we go, what? Like, and it might not even make any sense. Like, and we will just talk, unfiltered, like without judgment, complete undivided attention and space. And it will eventually make sense. Like you will pick it apart, right? That's what I absolutely love. That we pick it apart and it eventually tells us a story, or it shares a message with us, or something will happen. And it sometimes might not happen then, might be days later, weeks later, a month later, you know, something changes, shifts as a result. And you're in a pretty cool group, aren't you? And the group is really important too, right?
Definitely. Yeah. It was actually a question the other day at the end of the supervision. So like for those who don't know how supervision works, like you all talk, like you go in a rotation, but at the end of the supervision, there's also like questions, like for us, for our group anyway. And one of the questions was like around how you like what's going on for you right now that's going to benefit your practice. And like we have a few minutes just to reflect on that. And the first thing that came to mind was like everything that I do in supervision knocks on to like practice, even though none of the people in my group do what I do, like none of them. Sometimes I'm talking and they'll ask me questions and it's clear like sometimes they don't really understand what I'm doing, but it just doesn't matter because the collective energy of the group and what everybody else is bringing in, like I'm learning so much from these amazing people and just seeing how they deal with like conversations and like questions that they ask each other. Like it's so incredible. So that question this week, I just had supervision, was so powerful because I was like, everything that happens in supervision has a knock-on effect for all the kids and the parents that I work with every day, even though it has nothing to do with education. It's amazing.
Oh, that's so lovely to hear. Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that. You're right. Every supervisor has a different style and a different approach as well. So it may be different in the other groups. So I always like to kind of have a little insight into what happens in the other groups as well. I'm so nosy like that. So thank you for sharing. So I love celebrating where you were at and where we are now. So where were you and where are you now as a result of being in supervision?
I would say that I was very, like before I got the one-on-one supervision, I was very lonely. We talk about coaching as being like, can sometimes be a really lonely space because it's a one-on-one business often. You're doing all of the business stuff on your own. So I would definitely say kind of more of that lonely fit. Yeah. But you're also not lonely because you're talking with people all day. So it's a very interesting space. But since supervision, I think I've definitely got a lot more community, which is the big one. And again, as I mentioned, within my group, we are all doing different things. but it's still that sense of community, that sense of like purpose, that we're there for each other. So I think that's the big one, is just feeling like you're with other people going through very different things, but all there to support each other. I think that's the big difference. And that heaviness that I was talking about, like knowing that you belong with a nice little group, that heaviness isn't there anymore. It's like that armor kind of comes off and you can just be. It's really lovely.
And that's really nice for you to say that as well, and to hear that from you. So we are just getting to the wrap-up stage, Brianne, and I would love to find out what's next for you. Like, what's next in your journey? What are you up to?
Yeah, so I am just personally, I'm just about to do a big move. I'm actually moving to the US, which is going to be really exciting. And I'm very much looking forward to having the Supervision as support network for that, because freaking out a little bit. It's a big move from the UK to the US.
Yeah.
But it's going to be great because I also predominantly work with a lot of US families. So it means that the business is going to be kind of based out of there. It's going to have a lot more coaching and mentorship opportunities. And I also get to be around like the movement at the moment, which is the unschooling and the homeschooling movement, which is really in the US. So you mentioned before, like lifelong learning.
Yeah.
I think my practice is just going to kind of really benefit from being part of that amazing community over there. And yeah, that's where it's heading.
So you started in January, you've almost done your first kind of cycle of 6 months, and looking to continue in July. And we were talking about this, weren't we, in terms of time zones?
Yes.
Obviously, we are UK based, but we do support trying to make sure that we can support coaches in different time zones. So we've hopefully cracked that, Brianne, and we'll be seeing you at one of the other times that will suit you in terms of US time. And on a final note, Brianne, what would you say to a coach that's thinking about coach supervision for their practice?
I don't think it's a thought. I think you don't realize until you're in it that it's actually a necessity. Before it's like an option. It's like, but until you're in it, do you realize it is a necessity? Like you need this. And you put in what you put in. So if you choose to do it, you get the benefit of it. That would definitely be, in hindsight, my looking at supervision.
Do you know what? I've never heard someone say it like that before. And you're so spot on that you don't know what you need until you've got it. And when you've got it, you know that you've always needed it. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, we appreciate you so much. And not just because you're a supervisee, but you're part of our community. And we can't continue to grow our community without other amazing practitioners. And so thank you for being part of that. And what I've also seen with you is I've seen you having a chit chat with some of the other members of the I've seen it. Don't worry, I keep my eye on all of you, and you support each other, and it's a genuine, authentic level of support and respect and admiration for each other. And I think I see that as well when I see them connecting with you too. So thank you for being a big contributor to our community, Brianne.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
So that was Brianne Wragg, and I'm so pleased that you got to meet Brianne and hear all about what she is up to in her coaching practice, in her business. Please do feel free to connect with Brianne. She's over on LinkedIn, and connect and find out a bit more about her work, her experiences of coach supervision. I've volunteered you there, Brianne, and I didn't even ask you there, but please do connect. I think it's really important to grow our coaching community, grow our coaching network. And if you are interested, we have doors opening to the Coaching Catalyst Supervision Collective very, very soon. So if you're thinking, do you know what, I am in need of supervision now, please do get in touch and we will be more than happy to have a conversation with you. The link has been scrolling at the bottom of the screen since we started. It's bit.ly/coaching-collective. You can pop me a message or Sarah over on our LinkedIn page, and we will be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. And please also remember that it is International Coaching Week, so we still are accepting registrations for that, and you can sign up for that by going to bit.ly/supervision workshops. Sarah is going live in less than 10 minutes, so I better get off this link. I will see you all soon for another client showcase. Take care.